Hello guys, welcome to the weekly kickoff. That means it's Monday, the week has just begun. How exciting. We have got loads to talk about. We've got returning guest, big man on campus, Alex from Need for Tips, and special guest, because he's special, is Martin.
I'm a very special boy.
You are indeed. Well, listen, because I brought you on, Martin, because obviously not quite, a little sort of detracting from football, but we do have the fight that I know you're very well versed in. And then also we will be briefly discussing the Champions League. More so to take a look at a draw, any matches we're looking at, but we are straight after this video going and discussing the matches in detail. So we'll try and save most of it for then, and we do have other things as well that we want to be talking about. But before I get going, I just want to talk about all the units of profit we're in, guys.
Yay.
I don't know if you guys know, but we are in. So the Bankroll Bankers, the little sort of segment I do by myself, that's up 2 units from last week. Best bets, 20 units of profit.
Oof.
Wow.
Ooh.
And crazy. And then EPL, 4 units of profit. We are up. So
daily profit.
We are in profit. It's just one word. It's a profit. And then also a couple of people have been asking as well. They're saying, like, do you keep a record? I said yes. So on the individual shows, that's where I don't have time today, but on Wednesday and on Thursday during the show, in the beginning, I bring up profit and losses and tipsters and all that kind of stuff. So keep an eye open for that. And then there was
want to congratulate Stuart for wow, I think an amazing banker of the week. Watford to win against Southampton. A lot of people were laughing about it at an odd of 6. It was the banker, not a simple bet. And how you say it came in 6. Come on, plus 500, 6.
Well, if you saw the Bankroll Bankers show that I did, I was like, oh, Stuart's going. This is his banker here, betting with my own money. But I was like, listen, I've seen his crazies and they come through. If it was anybody else, I would have probably refused to have put that bet in. But knowing that it was coming from Stuart, I was like, I've got to give this boy a chance because he brings them in. So you can't argue with that.
And let's say that also Arsenal, the Gunners, recovered. I think that they destroyed the 3-0, halftime, full-time, baby. Yeah.
Winner in.
Martin can breathe a sigh of relief. It was against Bournemouth, though. It wasn't like it was against Man City.
No, you're not going to turn your season around at home to Bournemouth. They had to win that one. It was expected of them. Bournemouth have got 0 points from 4 games. They're a dreadful side, and they like to attack, which plays into the hands of a team like Arsenal. The real test is going to be Chelsea next Sunday. Ooh, big game.
Big game. How are you feeling about that game, Martin?
I'm a little bit apprehensive, but we do have a very good record against Chelsea recently. Beat them in the FA Cup final, won the Community Shield against them, and were by far the better team in both games. Obviously, Chelsea are reinvigorated now, and they're a different animal, so it's going to be very, very tough. But I'm more optimistic now than I was a week ago, just because we looked a bit stronger. They're not trying to play Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain out of position anymore. They had a bit better balance in the side. I definitely wouldn't back Arsenal to win it, but I'm a bit more confident.
Not only that, Martin. Not only that, but the Chelsea have Champions League. You don't.
Well,
rub it in there, Alex.
We're playing in the Europa League a day.
Yeah, but you're not interested in that competition. Trust me, you are not interested. You don't want to go there.
I think apparently he's going to play a reasonable team. He's going to play a reasonably strong team. So yeah, I hope he doesn't. I hope he leaves out most of the key players, and then we're strong for the Chelsea game, because Chelsea, they'll really go for it in the Champions League. They have to.
Yeah, listen.
What do you say, big man, about Arsenal and about?
Listen, I don't want to offend Martin at all with my comments on Arsenal. I try to keep them when he's not on the show. I don't want to offend him. But again, I mean, look, congratulations! You beat one of the worst teams in the Premier League. Great job at home, by the way. And they would have tore down the Emirates if you didn't win it. It's interesting what happens when you play your best players in their natural positions. It's interesting what happens. I don't know why in 13 years Arsenal and Wenger has to to not know that at this point. But I'm not going to get into it. It's a lot further for Arsenal than their team on the field. They're a pathetic organization. So, again, it's great. 1 week. Congratulations. But this is what Arsenal fans need to stop doing. Just because they win one game against a bad side at home, your wavering shouldn't move. Arsene Wenger needs to go. There's nothing he can do except winning the Premier League that's going to fix that. He needs to go. Needs to end now.
Yeah. Talking also about sort of like upsets here, we've got Idrat Yahan saying, unfortunately, I did back Manchester United -1. That ended very close to 2. What are our thoughts on that? Is it, Manchester United preparing for the Champions League? Should we really have taken that into consideration? What happened really? Because we were expecting a comfortable Manchester United win, even though it was at Stoke.
I think at some point, we had to think United would have a little chink in their arm, but they're not going to not give up a goal all year. And look, I want to give Stoke some credit. Stoke's a better side, I think, than I think a lot of people will give them credit for. They have good attacking players. It's tough to go in there and play. That's something I'll take note of, and I think we know. Usually it's just Arsenal that seems to have trouble there, but they're providing trouble for a lot of teams. Look, again, United's not going to win every game and not give up a goal. But yeah, they might have been looking ahead a little bit as well. They should, we'll get into Basel, Manchester United here in a little bit. But big man hates Wenger. You're right, I do. King Classic. That's you're right, totally. I can't stand him or Stan Kroenke. That's not ever been.
I think that we should. I think that we should still support Manchester United. They are a really good team. I think that these negative results, from my point of view, because it's a negative result for them, they could win that after all. Even though Stoke put them a lot of problems, they could win that. But again, I want to arrive and congratulate Stuart for his banker on 6.0. Another surprise was Real Madrid losing other points against a second week in a row against Levante. That's outrageous. Not what Manchester United 2-2 with Stoke. No, Real Madrid with Levante. Come on, draw with Marcelo out and stuff like that. With Barcelona without Neymar, that we were talking so much time. They had the best start of the season since La Liga started in 1923. I don't know exactly numbers, but they have the best start of the season. 9 goals, 0 conceded, 9 points also. I think that they are on a good road. Let's see them on Champions League.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, it shouldn't have affected too many people's accumulators because they were heavy favourites along with Barcelona to win 1.1 or, something ridiculous like that. But Martin, you were on the Barcelona. You did Barcelona -2 or something like that. That was a good victory for you.
That was my bet of the weekend. I absolutely loved that bet. Barcelona, for all the negative talk around them losing Neymar, have started the season in very, very strong form. They've won all 3 games to 0, and they had an amazing head-to-head record against Espanyol. They are local rivals, and every time they've played them in recent years at the Nou Camp, they've absolutely thrashed Espanyol to show them who's boss in Catalonia. And I just had a feeling that this would be no different this time around, and they proved me right. Leo Messi needs to really up his game because it's time he wins his Ballon d'Or back from Ronaldo, and he's really firing on all cylinders at the moment. And yeah, I think it really does just pay to look at the head-to-heads. When there's one team that's so dominant over another for so many years, you have to go for the handicap. And yeah, delighted that it paid off for me.
Yeah, quickly as well. Obviously, we've got a Premier League Monday match just taking place right now. 17 minutes in, 0-0 current score. West Ham, Huddersfield. I was on Huddersfield and the draw chance. What were you guys on? Have you got any bets?
West Ham should be up 2-0 at this point. They've hit the crossbar once, had a great shot, a minute or so in. Really missing some opportunities here. I'm on Huddersfield plus a half a goal, I believe. I think you and I, Natalie, we've bet them every week so far. So
same here. I'm on
they're
them
hanging
also.
Flash was the only one.
It's time for West Ham. They badly need a win. If they don't get a win here, or at least the point, Slaven Bilic is going to have to go, I think.
By the way, Martin, congrats on your call on Frank de Boer to get sacked.
Oh, thank you,
That's a
Alex.
fact.
You say it, but you
Great
said- I
article
said-
on Osmar.
Yeah.
Making money on other people's misery, Martin.
wrote
Good
an
for the
article saying
Bucks.
everyone backed Frank de Boer to be the next manager to be sacked. They said he had one game left to
Yeah.
prove his worth, and that one game was away at Burnley. Burnley are so strong at home, so I had an
Yeah.
inkling that Burnley would beat them, and lo and behold, de Boer sacked today. Very, very sorry for de Boer, but definitely
Yeah.
the right thing to do for Crystal
Roy
Palace. So I
Hodgson.
hope people back
Roy
him.
Hodgson. Roy Hodgson.
Well, we
Get him
said
in
on
there.
we did say it was my one of my best bets, and also Premier League punters as well, was the Burnley win. They're a team to back at home. They're one to avoid at the last season, certainly on the road. But
And by the way,
they were great odds as well.
Still no goals for Crystal Palace. What a joke. I mean, 4
Yeah.
games in, not a goal yet. Just pathetic.
Not a single goal.
Well,
all right, quickly though.
What about the Liverpool? What about Liverpool?
Let's not.
I know. I called my dad to rub that in. Yeah,
Pathetic.
I know.
Well, let's be
Ask
honest. Let's be real. I mean, go ahead, Nat. Go ahead.
They were down 10 men. I think it was they lost a
1-0.
player at 1-0, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Sadio
maybe,
Mane,
and I think
the
that
best player.
I think that they were superior before Sadio Mane went red carded, and I think that in the second half, Jurgen Klopp thought, okay, Champions League is coming. Let's take Salah out. Let's take that one out. And anyway, we're not winning here, so let's get down to business.
They need Coutinho back bad. They need Lallana to get back at some point. Their midfield was horrible on Saturday.
Don't kung fu kick goalkeepers in the head is the lesson to take.
Right.
yeah. I've got.
And he's the best player right now too. So that's not.
Yeah, and then Ganesh Pun says Crystal Palace were the better side against Burnley. Burnley scored a lucky goal.
Doesn't matter how you cash.
Luck or no, like exactly the bet cashed in.
2.3.
Yeah, I know.
When you go and cash that bet, Natalie, they don't ask you how you won. It doesn't matter. As long as you win.
I know.
Hey, Natalie, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I could have sex with Kim Kardashian tonight. I probably won't. Palace could have scored, but you know what, Ganesh, they didn't. So you got to move on, buddy.
Yeah. Palace dominated Burnley and missed so many chances. Unfortunately, yes. And but anyway, quickly, just want to ask though, obviously about the big fight, Alaves versus Golovkin. Martin, I know it's a little steering away from football here, but any leans right now?
I think Canelo Alvarez looks a really good price at the moment. I can get 2.42 on the Mexican to win this fight, and that's just fantastic odds. He seems to have been around forever, but he's only 27, and I think he's reaching the peak of his ability. He's had 49 fights, and he's won 48 of them. Only blot on his record came against Mayweather 4 years ago, but at the time Alvarez was only 23. He was up against the #1 ranked pound-for-pound boxer in the world. Obviously Golovkin is a fantastic puncher. He's got like rocks in his gloves, this guy, and he's a real knockout specialist, and he goes in as the favorite. He's unbeaten. That's understandable, but I just think Alvarez's his movement, his intelligence, he's going to be able to evade Golovkin. I think he can beat Triple G. I think those odds are really attractive. And Mayweather agrees with me. Even Mayweather thinks that Canelo can do it. So, yeah, I'm going to be backing Alvarez in this one, I think. I think he can win on points. If Golovkin's going to win, he needs to knock Alvarez out, I would suggest.
Okay. And what about you, big man? You seems to have going with the fight as well. Which bet are you going for?
I agree with Martin. I think if you like Canelo Alvarez, you might want to wait a little bit too. I think people are falling in love with Gennady Golovkin, and the fact that he beat people up on the street when he lived in Kazakhstan, like that matters today at all. He's at the end of the day a 35-year-old fighter. I thought Danny Jacobs gave a nice blueprint of maybe how to beat Gennady Golovkin. If Jacobs doesn't get knocked down, who knows where that fight goes? I think Canelo Alvarez in the future is a more sellable product. I think he's the face of boxing, and we need to figure that into our decision. A lot of times in boxing, guys are going to just get decisions because of their future. Gennady Golovkin's 35 years old. Canelo looks to be the face of the sport, and I think he learned a lot mentally fighting Floyd Mayweather. That's his only blemish. I'm looking more into this fight. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on it. I'm usually someone that bets fights on the day of. I haven't seen the second episode of the countdown thing that they do, which I use a lot when I'm capping fights and stuff. to see kind of the inner lookings of a fight. But right now, at this price, I'm looking Canelo. But I'll get more into the numbers a little bit towards the end of the week. I'd love to have Martin. Maybe Martin could join me and a guy that we do videos for at SBR. Maybe talk about the fight a little bit more. But right away, I like Canelo. Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna say SBR is going to be covering this fight to no end. So check in all week. I'm sure lots of odds and props and match bets and things like that. So check in. Quickly, just looking. Obviously, we will be covering the Champions League in like 10 minutes. But who, just quickly about the groups, who would you say, has the draw favored? Big man, what would you say? Who would you say the draw has favored and they've got a pretty easy ride?
Well, I'll tell you who it doesn't favor. Celtic. Teams like Qarabağ and Basel and Anderlecht. But no, overall, all these teams that are big names, PSG, Barcelona, all these teams. There shouldn't be any reason they don't get to the final rounds here. I'm more or less looking at. I think Juventus obviously is a tough draw here. They're in a tough group. They've had question marks in the back, which we'll get to. But this is where you kind of see where teams are going to kind of show that they're just much better than everyone else. Celtic has the toughest draw for sure. It's a shame they got put into this group.
Well, Celtic and Anderlecht really, along with PSG and Bayern Munich.
I would say that
Liverpool
and Man United both got very, very comfortable draws. When you look through the draw, Juventus are in the same group as Barcelona. Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain are in the same group. You got Tottenham, Borussia Dortmund, and Real Madrid in another group. Man United have only got to play Basel, CSKA Moscow, and Benfica, whereas Liverpool
with Napoli.
Liverpool have got a great draw. They're they got like the likes of Maribor, Sevilla, Spartak Moscow. I think they've had a real touch there.
Yeah. You do have a few, and then we've also got Stuart from Tipster HQ, his team, Tottenham, along with Apoel, Borussia Dortmund, and Real Madrid. They should be qualifying. Do you think you got Real Madrid, obviously, Borussia Dortmund. Do you think Tottenham should qualify right from Group H?
Nah. Well, Real Madrid should qualify.
I asked the wrong person.
Real Madrid are the favourites. They're going through. It's a toss-up between Tottenham and Borussia Dortmund. Unless Tottenham can end this Wembley hoodoo, they keep losing at Wembley. Unless they can do that, they're going out. What about a fantastic team?
What about CSK Moscow? Obviously, they had a pretty good year last year, but they're missing a few key players now. Do you think their hopes are pretty much out?
They got a tough game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who's that? CSKA Moscow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manchester United, they will fight with Benfica, and I think that they will fight also with Basel for the third place.
If they played every game in Russia, they would do fine. But unfortunately, that's not how the tournament works. So, yeah, I think tomorrow's a tough game for them, to be honest.
I fancy Benfica to get out of that group along with Man United. Benfica, pretty strong team, especially at home.
What about?
You know what, guys? I'm not participating on the Champions League show after that, so I will be on tomorrow's one. But I have my special tip for tomorrow, and I think that Big Man will like it. Celtic versus PSG. Both teams to score in the over 2.5. I think that Celtic can contribute on the scoreboard against the. I don't think that PSG's defense is so good as it seems. I think that Celtic with their crowd. On the back supporting them, I think that they will find the back of the net. So I think that Alex Classic for that match is really, really good. I think that it has a round of 1.952. I don't know exactly.
What are the odds just for the O? What are the odds for just the over? I'm a little bit nervous. I know it's at Celtic, which is
it's at 3.5 at this point. Over 3.5 is where you have to kind of start. 3.5 is at 2.
Yeah,
I got 1.7 on PSG minus 1.5 Asian handicap. I can see PSG taking them apart here.
Yeah,
they lost 7-0 to Barcelona in the group stage last season. They're a good side in their domestic league, Celtic.
They also tied them too.
They did, but have you seen the way that PSG have been playing with Cavani, Neymar, and Mbappe up front? It's been frightening the way they've been taking.
Martin, let's hold that thought because I want to make a point on that when we get to the. I don't want to give all my thoughts away on this show. You know what I mean? So let's pick that back.
Good work. Good idea. Good idea.
Both teams to score is at 1.95 right now with Betfair, and I think that both teams to score and the over 2.5, it will be around 2.3.
Wishful thinking. I don't know. I think I quite like Martin's bet on that one. Another quick team I want to talk about is Leipzig, obviously newcomers to the Champions League. Do you think they're going to cause any damage here? Are we going to see them step up to the plate? You know, they were a surprise team in the Bundesliga last season. Could they be a surprise this season in Champions League?
I mean,
they get
Monaco.
Yeah, sure. I agree with that.
What?
They play Monaco.
Yeah,
they play Monaco.
They play Monaco, but Monaco against Nice the other round, the last round from Ligue 1 from France, they didn't play nothing, and they played their first team. So I think that Leipzig is the kind of organized team that will not leave a lot of spaces to their opponents. Doesn't matter what name they have. And Monaco is not the same team like last year. We already know that.
They're not a good road. They're not a good road side. They got crushed.
Plus, they are not a good road side. So I think that Leipzig has a chance to get the 3 points here.
Interesting.
Definitely has a chance. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Listen, guys, wrap things up because let's just move over and let's go and talk about the Champions League matches. Tuesday's matches. We'll be back a little earlier on Tuesday. We've got Flash joining us as well to cover Wednesday's matches. That will be tomorrow. So look out for that on the schedule. We'll see you there. But let's head on over now and talk Tuesday's matches. Thanks for watching the weekly kickoff, and I'll see you over in the next video, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.